Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Lunch Break Garage. This time, we're going to be working on my 1966 Ford F250, specifically getting it running better, hopefully sounding better, so we can be one step closer to getting this thing back to work. So just a little backstory on the truck. My wife and I were looking for an old truck, mainly for hauling stuff like soil, dirt, mulch, stuff like that. We found this one on Marketplace about 45 minutes away, and the price was pretty good. Plus it already ran and drove, so it was easy enough to get back to the house. Now on the drive home, it became very obvious that this thing needed some TLC before it gets back to work. So to this point, I've completely redone all of the brakes and all new hardware and lines, even upgraded the master cylinder and added a power booster. I found some used tires for cheap and had those mounted by a local shop. I cleaned up the interior a little bit and added some gauges. I fixed most of the wiring, so now everything works except for the left brake light for some reason. I'll probably figure that out in another video. So now we are jumping in to swap out this 2-barrel Autolite carburetor for a 4-barrel that I know is a good running carb. This Autolite has never really run right. It's missing some things and it's been patched up, basically just good enough for it to idle. So it's definitely time for an upgrade. Alright, so here's the new adapter, spacer, all that good stuff from Carburetor. Innovations is the carbcheater. You probably know them. Luke 289 on YouTube makes these. I love the gaskets that come with these kits. This is obviously I think this is the 3rd vacuum spacer. You can see this was also theirs, just from obviously for the 2-barrel. So I need to get this one on, but first I need to get these studs out of here. So let's do that first. All right, we're gonna do the old double nut trick here, hopefully. Actually, let's take this gasket off, just in case I have to heat this up. All right, let's start with this one. Let's put this on. And then let's put this one on. Get them good and tight. All right, let's see if we can jam these in there. Nice and tight. Yeah, okay. Nope, still not working. Yeah. Aha! There we go. Woo, she's tight, but it's coming out. All right. I do have a ratcheter here. I could just, oh, look at that. Ain't that easier? There's one. 3 more. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right, we got those out. Not too bad. This is the hardware it comes with. I believe the black ones are what's going to attach this to the manifold, and then the chrome ones come up from the bottom for the carburetors, to be the carburetor studs, essentially. That's kind of my guess based on the thread pitch here. So let's go ahead and let's get this bolted on. All right, here's the gasket. Yeah. One side. Yeah, okay, there we go. Alright, and then this guy, I don't think it matters which side is which. So we're just gonna sit this on top like that. Hopefully these guys right here will fit. Let's see. I guess I could have tested this before, but it appears they are the right. Okay, cool. So let me get these in, get them tightened down, and then we'll go get the carb. All right, so gotta find the carb of choice, which of course is the most sensible thing that you can find for just a stock 360, and that is, you know, the Brawler double pumper. Yep. That'll be good. No, in all seriousness, the 2-barrel, the Autolite that's on it is absolutely garbage. The main jets are seized in there. I couldn't get them out. I mean, I probably could get them out, but unfortunately, I would probably ruin most of the carb to do that. And it's running super lean, especially under load. So that's pretty dangerous. So I figured, you know, we'll just throw more gas at it, right? That should be fine. Everything's up here somewhere. Other carb cheater boxes. Don't mind those. Yeah, let me get this stuff out of the way. All right, here we go. This is the magic right here. Yes, I believe what I need is going to be in here. Hopefully. Let's see what we got. All right, here's our valves here. That is a 3.5. That's not going to work. What is this, 6.5? That's probably the highest one I have. That one's a 4.5. So I guess the 6.5 is what we're going with. Honestly, it probably needs like an 11, but you know, I don't have one. So I guess we'll go with the 6.5, unless at some point I did change this one out. I think it's like a 4.5 or a 5 that's in it. So, all right, let's pull this other one out, put this one in, and then we'll go slap it on the car. Well, slap it on the truck rather, to get all this crap in the carburetor. Okay, I'm sure that didn't break anything. Gasket looks fine. So yeah, this is definitely a 5. That's in it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a 5. So we're gonna take this out. We're gonna put the 6.5 in because that's the best I've got right now. All right, went ahead and took out the 5.0. Did I already put it up? Anyways, the 5.0 power valve and put in a 6.5. Again, it's not nearly enough for this motor, but it's the best I have right now. I went ahead and adjusted the butterflies so that the transfer slots are just barely showing. And I adjusted the secondary transfer slots because I had to open those up because, again, this was on not a super rowdy motor, but one where it needed more air for idle because it had low vacuum. So you can see this thing has been, it might have backfired a few times. That's fine. We'll spray some stuff in it. But overall, I think it's just about ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just spray it out real quick with some brake clean. And then we'll go get it plopped onto the truck. So weird this feels. So wrong, yet so right at the same time. It's going to be interesting. This is fairly difficult to get to, but we'll figure it out here. Let's see. All right, the carburetor is now bolted on, looking happy. We gotta figure out throttle linkage. I gotta get some new vacuum ports because these are all coming apart, quite literally just cracking. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to tell, but they're all bad. That one and the one under there. So I'll replace those as well. Obviously I'm not gonna have a choke anymore because this was electric choke, and I took the choke horn and everything out because I don't know, at the time it was easier. So I might even take this out so it's not in the way. Well, I don't know, maybe I'll leave it. You never know, Maybe I'll convert this to manual choke one day. But it is really, really hot out here. And I'm literally beside a fire because I'm trying to burn off some old wood, and I'm having to walk back and forth because I didn't take the truck over there before I started taking it apart. So we're gonna take a quick break, cool off, get some water, and then we'll come back and start addressing what's left. All right, we're back. Next thing we're gonna tackle is the throttle linkage here. As you can see, well, she don't quite reach. I'm gonna try to use, I don't know if anybody even see that hole right there. So I got to get some pieces off the old carb, put it in there, and then I think I'm gonna have to adjust some stuff back here. Maybe loosen this up and turn it, and then loosen this guy up and pull the whole cable through. I think that'll give us just enough room to reach. So let's see if we can get that done. First thing, I'm gonna loosen up back here. A little bit further in. Hey, there we go. All right, tighten that back up. All right, it's closer. Let's see. Oh, very close. All right, and then last thing, I'm hoping if I loosen this guy up, I'll be able to turn it. All right. Oh boy, sucker's on there tight. Okay, now I know why. All right, so we'll reach now. Let's pop it on. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty. Throttle return spring is on. Nice. The throttle hooked up. It is not pretty and it is not permanent, as they say. So eventually I do have another throttle cable and a different pedal to put in as well to get rid of whatever all this menagerie is. But for now, this is gonna work. Got a throttle return spring, it's hooked up. So now we can start working on getting all our vacuum hoses hooked up, and then obviously the vacuum ports that don't need to be open. We can get those closed up. We need that. And there's 2 vacuum hoses, one at the bottom of the adapter on both sides. And then I think there's another one under here too that needs to get replaced. I have 2 of them, another manifold vacuum, and I think another ported vacuum under here. So I potentially could run this under, I don't know, I'll just leave it there for now. That'd be fine. But yeah, we need to get all these buttoned up. And then we'll put some fuel in it. See if she'll run. All right, let's check the fire. We need to add some. Oh yeah, we need to add some. Oh, let's do that. Alrighty, we're looking good. We got, well, everything hooked up now except for fuel. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this guy on, hook up the fuel hose, and maybe we'll go ahead and start filling the bowls, see if she leaks or not. We have fuel hooked up now. Had to reroute it a little bit. Unfortunately, it is not ideal, but we're gonna at least crank it over and see if I can get fuel into the carb and see if those floats are gonna hold or if it's just gonna puke everywhere. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, it should work.
Yeah, it's fine. Should be all right. At least see if we can, I don't even know, this little regulator, I don't even know if it works. I don't even know where it came from. It was in a box, so I'll put it on. We'll see if it works, I guess.
You're almost there.
Well, we got fuel at least?
Yeah, the gas is going in.
We got a leak? No, we got gas there. That's probably not an ideal situation, but I don't know what else to do right now. Let's see. Did you ever see this? Did you ever see if this gauge moved at all?
I did not.
You didn't?
I was
Okay.
looking at that, but
The fuel pump is
it's
trying.
going up, but it's just not going through.
I need to get it running, I think. All right. Want you to place this?
Sure.
Hellfire. I'll
There you go.
put some juice in her. See if we can get her running. Really? Yeah. Just start cranking, I guess. It's in neutral, so you good. It's on. It's. All right, get her again. Boy, howdy. It ain't happy. All right, do it again. All right, I'm leaking out the regulator already, so we're bleeding. All right, it is a new day. Let's maybe, okay, let's open this guy up here. Yeah, all right, so here is where we are at. It is still running incredibly rich. Played with it a little bit after that last clip that you saw, and basically there's still fuel just being dumped in from another source other than the idle circuit. I have the idle screws completely cut off right now, screwed all the way in. And it was still running like at 10 to 1 AFR. So still got a fueling issue somewhere. The only thing I can think that would be causing it to run that rich, even at this point, would be probably maybe that power valve that I just put in. I know it was used, but very slightly. I think we're gonna start there. We're gonna go ahead and pop the fuel rail off, get the bowl off and take out the metering plate again, check the power valve, see if it's still good or not. Or maybe the gasket, did I put a gasket on it? I'm pretty sure I put a gasket on it. Either way, we're gonna check that out first. That sucker was tight. Okay. All right, and the verdict is in. This is the gasket that was in there. I don't know if you can really tell, but it was obviously not centered and definitely imprinted there where it was tightened down. Maybe I over tightened it, I don't know, but also it is also thinner. So this is definitely the one that I took off originally. I mean, you can see it's curved as well. And then here is a brand new one, how it's supposed to look. So if you can kind of see, I don't know if you're going to be able to really tell on the camera here, but it is about half the thickness, I would say. So I think my theory is correct here. I believe the power valve is the problem. So we are going to put the new gasket on here. We're going to put it on and make sure it is centered and not over tighten it this time. And that's it. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going with. I'm also going to put a new metering plate gasket as well. The other one isn't terrible, but it is obviously used, and this top part right here is the part that is kind of bothering me a little bit. So it's bent down like that. I don't know. I have them, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace this as well. Go ahead and slap it back together. All right, got new gaskets in place. We got everything ready. Let's go ahead and get this guy back on. Hopefully, without too much trouble. Alrighty, that's back on. I really do need to change out this gauge because it's not doing anything. I don't know where it came from, but it doesn't work. So I think for now I'm going to leave it though, because obviously there'll be a hole there if I take it out. So we'll just have a non-working. I had one on it before over there, and it was running at about 5, so it should be fine for now. If I start to think there's an issue with it, I'll put a different gauge on it. But for now, we'll just use that as a plug, basically. She's back together. I guess the time has come. So now I guess we need to go ahead and crank it over so we can get some fuel through here. I had all of the idle mixture screws completely closed off earlier with troubleshooting, so I went ahead and opened up just the front, one full turn. Hopefully it'll run a little bit better. I'm gonna leave, like I said, the back completely shut off. We don't need that for idle anyways. And the throttle doesn't even open all the way up to really worry about the jets in the back or anything like that, so I'm not too worried about it for now. Let's just see if we can get it fired up and idling at a decent AFR. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's go over here and do this. Let me move this so we don't drop it, so it don't fall. Alrighty. Oh my God, it's hot. Oh my God, this door just fell on me. It's so hot. All right, hold on. Before we do this, let me get this door from. Yeah. Now you. No. Maybe this side. Yeah. All right. You stay open. All right. Here we go. Okay. Well, that's the best it's ran so far. Okay, that is definitely promising. Look at that. It's definitely rich though, but it is running so much better. All right, let's see. Could be something to do with the throttle being open, the transfer slots being exposed. Let me lower this down some if I can get to it. Back down some. Alright, back up to 12. Still a little bit high RPM. Bring her down. Still at 12. Better RPM though. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust these in just ever so slightly. Come on. Oh yeah, that's looking better. 12.6. We're on the right track here. Let's keep going. Okay. Hey. Now we're talking 750. 13.5, 13.6. I'm okay with that. That's low level. I need to lower that down. That's not helping. I believe we now have her a little closer to dial. Cannot really complain too much, and there's no auto tune on right now, so pretty happy with that. I think at this point I really should be good to drive it around, and then at some point turn the auto tune back on so we can get it just about as dialed as possible. Right. I fiddled around with it a little bit more. Got it pretty well dialed in without auto tune on, I think. Obviously I still need to drive it to see where everything else is, but as far as idle goes, we are miles ahead where we were before. It's still, really hot outside, and I have a fire going, so I think I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna go inside, get my door propulator here out. Yeah, get that out of here. Yep, and I think we're going to, I might leave the window down. Yeah, we're gonna take it for a drive here in just a little bit, but first I think I'm gonna go inside and cool off. All right, so hot start. Well, that starter doesn't sound good. All right, we are low on fuel. That's all right. We should have enough to go around the corner here. Oh my gosh, it's like night and day. That other carburetor was so bad. All right, that makes me happy. All right, I got a cul-de-sac, so I gotta get our brakes working here. Oh, this is gonna be fun, one-handed. All right, I'm gonna put it down for a second. All right, first test drive went pretty well, I would say. I didn't really get to check out the AFR, so I'll probably do that on my next one, and obviously take it a little bit longer. Might even pile it up full of stuff to take to the dump eventually. It's kind of time to start putting that thing back to work for sure. Want to take a break, get some stuff done around the house. Then we'll come back. I might even take it up to the gas station. It's only, I don't know, it might be 2 or 3 miles away, so it should definitely be able to make that, I hope. But yeah, I think I'm gonna let it sit and heat soak good, and then I'm gonna fire it back up and see if it needs a little more adjustment. I'm assuming it's probably gonna need a little more. It'll probably be pretty lean after a good heat soak, so we'll come back and check that out. And of course I got to keep the fire going as well, so I got all this wood back here I got to get thrown in there. But overall, I'm really happy. It drives, it's night and day. That other carburetor was just, wasn't cutting it. And this was a pretty easy, cheap swap. Again, I'm gonna take a break. I'll come back and maybe take a little bit of a longer test drive. All right, we're gonna go for a quick ride to the gas station. It's only, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles. Shouldn't be too far away. I'm gonna turn on the carb cheater so I can see what's going on the way, and then I might even do a log. I don't know. I haven't really put anything more than, oh shoot, I don't know, maybe like 3 gallons in this tank at once. So I guess we'll find out if it leaks, and if I can smell it in the cab, since the tank is right behind me. That is something that sort of drives me crazy on my C10. All right, we're gonna take a quick ride. It is, what time is it? I don't know. It is 2:30. It's about the hottest part of the day here right now. We are sitting on E as far as gas goes, so we are going straight to the gas station. Hopefully you can get back. Oh, I don't have mirrors. I don't know why I'm looking for mirrors. I don't have any. I'm watching the carbcheater app to verify the AFR and a few different ranges here, so we can continue to tune up on the carb a little bit. And hopefully everything goes smooth when we make it to the gas station. So far so good. The speedo works. I think it says I'm going 45. definitely gonna have to fix that at some point. Made it to the gas station. Let's get some gas. Turn off the blinker. Just do a little log for the way home. Let's get out of here. Yep, I put 10 gallons in. And we are just above half tank now, so looks like the gauge works at least. So that's actually very helpful. Wasn't really sure before, but now I know. I don't know how accurate it is, but I guess we'll find out. Definitely feels. Gas. So I don't know, we're either leaking or it's got like a pinhole somewhere, I guess. I don't know. It's not terrible though. Definitely smelled worse. Due to the carburetor, of course, but it feels good. I mean, it feels like it's running really well. Man, she drives great, honestly. I have nothing to complain about. Literally nothing to complain about, other than it rides like an old truck, but it drives great. I wish I could stop looking at the mirrors to see what's behind me, but I can't. I don't have a rear view mirror or side view mirror, nothing. But all right, first little drive there. I mean, I would say it's pretty successful. We made it to get gas, started right back up, drove it right back home, didn't overheat. Man, like zero complaints, honestly. Zero complaints. Like, this is something I feel like I could just jump in and drive. What was that? I heard something. Well, I thought it might be something I could drive. I don't know. I gotta figure out what that noise was. But we're pulling into the driveway now, so we at least made it home. I'm not sure if the hood is latched. It's shaking an awful lot. All right. Oh yeah, I got to change the oil. Definitely got to do that. Well, I found out what that noise was. I didn't put the gas cap back on, and it somehow made it all the way home, just sitting on the flatbed, and fell off right here as I was pulling into my driveway. That is crazy and very lucky. And you know what? I bet that explains why I was smelling gas too. Huh. Weird. Alright, well, that's fixed. Well, thank you for reminding me to change the oil. I have literally never even seen the oil drain plug on this thing before, so I just brought a plethora of sizes. Well, that does not look good. Why does it look like that's been RTV'd on there? Uh-oh. Do we have it loose enough now? We do. Oh, wow. Okay, there's a bunch of gunk on that. What is that? Now I'm scared to tighten this thing all the way up. Alright, that felt pretty good. We're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it just like that. Alright, let's get this HEPA filter here. I have no idea where to put that drain pan. This is right over the cross member. This is going to make a ginormous mess, but such is life, I guess. See if this thing comes loose. Doesn't look like it's been on there long. Yeah. Yeah, look at there. Easy peasy. Alright, so 0 oil came out. When I mean, obviously it looks wet, so I don't know. I hadn't run it today, so maybe that's why. But there is stuff in there. I don't know what that is. I might have to. Oh, there's more in there. And I noticed it's beat up pretty bad. I did not do that. So, maybe I'll cut this open just for funsies. And going back in with the Wix 51515. Lubed her up a little bit. Alright. Good luck, guy. Alright, I have no idea how much oil this thing needs, but I got 2 gallons, so that should be enough. We are at the full mark, but I'm going to give it just a skosh more because I didn't pre-fill the filter. Yep. Alright, well, now that we got it running pretty good, I think it's time to make it sound good. We'll do that by going through a box of mufflers. Obviously, we got some nice ones, and we got some cheap ones. And we have some more bullet style ones. So yeah, I think we have at least 3 sets in here and some 2.5-inch pipe. I think we have everything we need to be able to adapt the 2.5. Every one of these are 2.5-inch mufflers. And of course I have some 2.5-inch pipe, and I have some adapters from 2-inch to 2.5-inch that I picked up at the parts store the other day because I knew I was going to be doing this at some point. So I think we got what we need to do a little muffler shootout here and see which ones we like better. I know these are definitely the quietest ones. These are probably somewhere in the middle of these and these are Speedy's, Speedy Sports, I believe. I had those on the C10 for a while. Actually, I had all these on the C10 at some point. And I kept them too long to be able to return them. So here we are. Now we've got options. We got a bunch of weird bends in here. I don't know what happened there, but I think we got what we need. So let's go ahead and get this stuff down there and start cutting off some exhaust so we can start adapting this back on. Yeah, that works. Well, this is what we were dealing with. I did try to cover this at one point with some exhaust strap, but obviously it didn't hold. There's holes everywhere on both of these. This one is split open in multiple places. Oh, this one had wrap on it too, but it's no longer there. I hear a lot of stuff in there too. Now that we got those off, let's start fitting some stuff up here. Well, obviously, before we go too far here, we gotta see what it sounds like with open pipes here. So here is the lineup. I think I have them in order of quietest to loudest. I have a problem with commitment. That's why I have so many mufflers. And that's also why I'm not welding them on. Plus I hate welding. So let's go see what we got here with the muffler shootout. First up, we have the Speedy Sports. Went ahead and got everything sort of clamped in, held up for now. I need some hangers, but for now, just for sound test, I think this will be good. Next up, we have the Brawler's Pro XS, whatever that means. Let's see how we got in here. This might be my favorites. And last but not least, we have the generic Summit mufflers. I think, I don't know, it might be Magnaflow knockoffs, but let's see how these sound. Wow, that is quiet. Why do I kind of like those the best? I don't know. Am I getting old? I must be getting old. I mean, you can barely even hear it from in here. Close the door. I mean, can you even tell I'm revving it on camera? Wow. Let's open the window so I can open the door. Oh man. I think I'm getting old. Okay, so it has actually been a few days now. I've just been living with those Magnaflow knockoff, the ones I got off of Summit, mainly because I didn't want to have to take them off and put other ones back on again. I was kind of over it after doing that a few times. I actually did it, all of them, twice, because I was trying to get the sound to sound better. And to talk about that, the sound that you're hearing over the camera is definitely not what it sounds like in person, unfortunately. But it should give you some sort of idea what they sound like. But right now, again, I'm using those generic ones, and they sound okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but I need a little more. I need a little more rumble out of it. So I'm gonna go back with the Brawlers. So I already put everything back up, so I had to come back up here to get them. But I think it'll be worth it in the long run, because I really do like how they sound. And even though they are way too good for this truck, I really want it to sound better. So we're gonna put those on. And there we are. We now have our Brawlers on. Both sides. I am gonna put some turn downs on it at some point, but we just ain't got time for that right now. It is way too hot. All right, let's take it for a quick spin. Alrighty. Starts right up. I love it. Absolutely love it. I got sweat in my eye. Oh. You probably can only hear this window over here rattling, but it sounds really good. I really do love the sound of these Brawlers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, should have let her warm up a little bit, but it was all right. And it's still not that loud in here, honestly, as far as the exhaust goes. So I think that was definitely the right choice. At idle, it's got a nice little rumble to it, but it's not too super obnoxious. When you get into it, it sounds pretty good. But from in here, it sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. Oh yeah. Holy. So much better. Alright, so that's going to do it for this one. It's running better, it's sounding better. Really the only thing left to do in my mind is to get this bed functional. So get subscribed if you want to see me work on that next. But until the next time, you have a good one, and I'll see y'all later.